This is Tracy Broussard with RoadDawgOnline.com and Steve Misamore, drummer with Dierks Bentley. What made you play drums in the first place?
I think it might have been, it might be in the genes. On my mother's side of the family, they're all musicians, Hungarian musicians.
Okay, there you go.
And you know, I don't know. I've actually, somebody's asked me that before. You know, it's like, what made you start? I was like, man, I'm not sure. I don't know if you know, you kind of music is drawn to you, or you're drawn to music, or whatever. But in my case, particularly, I think it was just something. It just kind of just happened and stuff. I mean, I started out on snare drum and all that. And my dad had a friend of a friend and all that. He taught drums, and so I started doing that.
Where'd you grow up?
Houston.
So that's kind of an eclectic part, man. What were you more into, the country stuff? Because I know there's an influx of even Cajun music.
Oh yeah, a lot of Zydeco and stuff like that.
Or were you the rock guy?
Yeah, I was a radio guy, man. I remember listening when I was a kid and all that. All I listened to was radio all the time. I wasn't so much into albums until a little bit later and all that, but I was into radio a lot. At night, after I was going to bed, the headphones on, sneaking in there and listening to the radio. And I was into the radio a lot, so I listened to a lot of radio, that kind of stuff.
Did you ever just record songs? And
Yeah. On top of my tape
best.
deck, I have my Techniques tape deck, and I put it on pause and all that, wait for my favorite song, and all that. But at the time, I listened to pop, rock, country, a lot of everything, really.
What was that one song that you had to learn, like when you were shedding, that you waited for to show up on the radio to record and say, I can't wait to learn this when we play it?
Oh, wow. Well, you know, something that kind of drew my ear early on was funny. It was maybe Tusk by Fleetwood Mac or something like that. Because it was, of course, I mean, you can't really duplicate that because that was such a huge track and all. But, wow, there was that's a tough question. You know, of course, we all went through the whole Rush thing.
Right.
You know, and the first time you hear YYZ, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
First time you hear Van Halen, but I was into Queen and the Styx and you know, R&B stuff too, Steely Dan stuff, Hey 19, you know, anything by the band, any classic rock stuff too, Levon Helm and all that.
I think Levon Helm is the underrated drummer.
Oh wait, I just saw him at the Ryman last year. Me and my wife went and saw him at the Ryman. It was amazing. I was like, I mean, about 6 or 7 feet. His kit was right on the stage, and to watch him like be 10 feet from him, and yeah, he's an amazing soul just up there playing.
First actual like paying gigs, probably I was a freshman in college. It was quite late. I went to Stephen F. Austin and majored in
Lumberjacks.
music. Yeah, Go Axe and Jacks, and I majored in music there in percussion performance, and I had a couple different bands that played in, and we played the local clubs around there. Just a lot of pop. But actually, we did you know, we did everything from Level 42 to Mock and McDonald stuff to the Eagles. And if we played a party where we needed to do some country, we would do a few Haggard tunes and stuff like that. It was a pretty versatile band to be able to pull off a lot of different styles and stuff. I was a finance major my freshman year, and I went, no. Yeah. That was kind of the turning point. I was like, I can't do that. It's got to be music.
At least you realized it before you got out.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, this isn't, it's always been kind of, you know, it's kind of that thing. It always been a party, and it always kind of drew towards that, and I knew I was going to do that.
What were you planning on doing with the music degree?
Exactly what I'm doing now, actually.
Perfect. Worked out for you.
Yeah, it did. I moved in late '93, and country was just really taking off a lot. Yeah. And I liked country music, and I knew it was the style of it and all that being more, you know, a lot more pop. Rest was hard at the time. It started, you know, Shenandoah, a lot of those bands. It kind of Steve Wariner. It kind of grabbed the ear on the technical side of things and stuff. And it was a little. It seemed like the sound seemed to be getting, relatively speaking, at least a little hipper. And I had a friend who said, you got to come up and just try it out. So I was like, I worked at the drum keyboard guitar shop in Houston. I was teaching and worked in the drum department and the guitar department. And my friend said, you got to come up and check it out. And so I was like, well, if I get a job working at a music store up there, then I'll move. And I got a job at Corner Music.
Yeah. Just
tearing down boxes and doing whatever, you know, tuning guitars up and stuff. Anything I could do, anything, just to, like $5 an hour kind of thing. morning. So packed up the Nissan pickup truck. All right, let's go.
How long before you started getting your name out, and how did you go about doing that as far as being a player? I'm here.
Yeah. Well, at the time, there was a lot of jams around town. You could go to the Hall of Fame or Barbara's,
Right.
You know, or
I saw you play there many nights.
9 to 3 in the morning, 7 days a week. I did that. Anyway, I had a great time.
Yeah.
I wouldn't trade that experience for the world at all. But at the time, before cell phones and everything, you had business cards, and you go to these jams and you'd meet people, and hey, can I sit in? And you just had to go for it.
Yeah.
You know, and that's kind of, and it wasn't too long. It was a few months. In town, and then you start kind of getting a few calls. First actual touring gig was with David Ball, and I lasted 3 months. I was drummer number 1 of 9 that year.
All right, so at least it wasn't you.
It might have been a little bit of me too, but it was great. I mean, that was good. And you got to go through those experiences to grow. You have to.
What's your impression, or what are your feelings about auditions?
Wow, they're tough. You just go in there and just do what you do. And don't try to do what you think they want, but do what you do. Because at least you walk away going, well, that's, if you didn't get the gig, you didn't go, oh man, I should have just been myself instead of trying to, you know.
Yeah.
And it's just sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't work out. I gotten like a call back, and then from that I gotten a lot of other auditions from that and all that, and that gets your name circulated around. He was playing down at Market Street. He called. He's like, man. It was funny as I saw his number come up, and I was like, Dierks, and then he called another time. I was like, I got to answer this. And so he's calling. He's like, dude, it's like, I need a drummer, you know. And I was like, man, I don't know a lot of the current radio stuff and all that. I do more, you know. I know a lot of the old school stuff. He's like, man, I do 50s and 60s country and shuffles and bluegrass. And I'm like, now I'm there. It was a great gig, and I was working part time also with Sony Tree Publishing. In the evenings, I was doing this tape room archive gig. And more than that, I was kind of hanging out in the studio, more doing stuff down there.
And trying to
just
trying
on
to
the
get
outside
into the
hours.
stuff?
Yeah, just kind of trying to experience and get just to have fun down there, just do stuff. And gave me a CD. Listened to it. It was really, really good. His first one. And so I took it to Woody Bomar, who's the head of the creative department. I was like, this guy is really good. So they came out and saw him, loved him, and all that. So it was fun to be able to open a few doors for him.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And I've always wanted to be like, I wanted to be on the front end, you know, of something like that. That's the way it worked out. So.
And what year was that around?
99, I think. It's been a blast. It's been just really a blast. We've done a lot of cool stuff. It's been a lot of fun.
So were you instrumental in putting the band together early on and stuff like that? Or?
Kind of helped out, yeah, somewhat. But I mean, he's really hands-on, so it's never do something for. He doesn't need the help. I mean, you know, he's a great musician, songwriter, player with such a bluegrass background and stuff. He knows. I mean, you don't have to really help him. I mean, he wants the ideas in the band. It's always everybody brings input to it, you know. But it's never, you know, he knows what he wants. He knows what he wants to get.
So seeing the gig grow to where it is now, what's that ride been like?
Oh, it's just been a whole lot of fun. It's just been really, it's the dream gig. I mean, it's a gig, you know, with a guy like that, just to hang out on the bus and play video games with, and he's just a normal guy. Just anybody that knows him, that meets him, gets that. He's just a regular guy.
Was there a moment where you're like, okay, this is really close to what I dreamed of doing? Can you recall a specific moment where that happened?
Well, I'm like you. There's not, you know, as a player, you always want to get better, so I can't say I've made it or anything like that necessarily. But there's a lot of that was cool moments over the years, you know, when we did. I don't know, it was very cool to do like the Nobel Peace Prize party. We played that. To play Lollapalooza, Bonnaroo, we were one of the few like country acts. To do that, play the Stone Pony in Jersey. Our DVD we did. You know, a lot of those you walk away going, that was cool. You know, and we've been very lucky that Dierks does a lot of TV. So any of those kinds of things. But you get that, but even if you do a session and you get that snare sound you've been trying to get and it worked, and you go, wow, that was cool too. Right. You know, it doesn't matter if it's this gig, or a demo or something like that, or a record or whatever you're doing, that you got a moment you walk away going, that was cool.
The live shows, how close are they to the album? And how much freedom do you guys have?
We got a lot of freedom.
Now,
and that's what he likes.
That.
Yeah, well, we kind of, you know, you have to maintain an element of what it's, because if people come out there and they want to see you do the hits, they want to see you do the songs the way they are. They don't want them to be unrecognizable. because they want to sing along and be a part of it. So we try to maintain the quality of the song as much as we can, but not afraid to just play. I mean, just above and foremost be a musician up there and play. Drumming wise, dynamically, you kind of got to keep it fresh. So I don't really know what's going to happen. And then most of the fills, or some of it's kind of, Steve Brewster played on some of the stuff. I played on a few things, and you kind of just interpret it. And sometimes it's a little different. That's cool. When everybody gets knows it, it's going to be a little bit different, but it keeps it exciting.
What's it like playing your own track?
That's the only thing I don't change up for some reason.
Because your parts are great.
I played it. I can't do anything
brilliant.
else. That's all I came up with. That's all I can come up with. I'm still waiting on the day I'm walking around in Lowe's, to hear something. I've walked around another store and heard I think I heard Free and Easy or something one time. I was like going, that song sounds familiar. And I was like, that's Dierks. It's Free. Oh, that's my track. Yeah, that's my track. Feel That Fire also is a pretty good track.
I'll tell you what, those songs are some of my favorites.
Right, yeah, there's a lot of fun.
That floor to floor just...
Yeah, on Feel That Fire is pretty cool. Free and Easy was kind of a funky track, but yeah, it's different, but it came out pretty cool.
Steve, thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Best of luck on the road.
Thank you.
Continue to feel the fire, man.
I will do it. Please do the same.
We'll try. This is Tracy with RoadDawg Online and Steve Misamore, and we're done.
Ragweed's rocking on the radio. Free and easy down the road I go.